There has been a lot of criticism of the Indian cricket team in this South Africa series for the tactics, team selection, and pretty much everything in between. Even their selection or choices of pitches has more often than not been questioned and disagreed with by a lot of people, whether it be former cricketers, experts, fans. Really, it seems like the only people who understand what it is that the Indian cricket team are doing is the current Indian team management. And suffice to say, they're not covering themselves in much glory because despite sticking to their guns with full on conviction, the fact of the matter is that India are veering towards a second straight home series whitewash in Test cricket against a Sena nation. Remember, this time last year, New Zealand whitewashed you, and now it looks like South Africa are set to do the same, which has obviously led to an intensifying of that criticism, with many people now asking, what exactly are this team doing? Chief of them, Ravi Shastri, a former Indian cricket coach who instilled a winning mentality in the Indian team in Test cricket, has been wondering what exactly it is that this current side are doing. Here's what he had to say. He said that it makes no sense, their tactics. When they review this series, some selections will leave them puzzled. In Kolkata, you picked 4 spinners and one bowled only a single over. Of course, he's referring to Washington Sundar. You'd remember batted at number 3 and was seen as your top batter or one of your top batters, and then only bowled a single over in a match where the off spinner was arguably the most effective of the bowlers for the opposition, and of course, Simon Harmer. But this wasn't the only issue that Shastri had with the current Indian team. He also, speaking of Washington, was asking why it is that Washington's batting order was played with so much. He said that after making Washington bat at 3, you could have slotted him at 4 since you already had your number 3 in this match, of course, being Sai Sudarshan. He's not a number 8. He's much better than that. And of course, you have to remember that Washington Sundar got his breakthrough in Test cricket at a time when Shastri was the coach. So he knows a thing or two about what it is that Sundar is capable of. And Sundar in Test cricket has proved himself a more than capable batter. Yes, his bowling has improved. Still, I would argue, has some ways to go. But as a batter, you would say that he has the temperament and the ability to succeed in Test cricket. So why bat him at number 8? Are we really going to only look at him as that? That is Shastri's question. He said, no, he's much more than that. But he's not the only one to actually be wondering what this Test team are doing. Dodda Ganesh was another one, someone who's often been a vocal critic when things are going wrong, who had a very pointed criticism along similar lines. He said that Washington Sundar, after playing 2 quality innings in the last test at number 3, inexplicably gets demoted to number 8 in the very next test. Never seen a more confused Indian Test team ever. Obviously, this is something that a lot of people are saying because it feels like tactics, team selections, everything is just made up as you go. There's no certainty or there's no conviction despite what they're saying publicly, because if they had that much conviction, truth be told, you could argue that they would have gone for a rank turner in Guwahati as well. But Guwahati hasn't been a rank turner. It's been a sporting track typical of Indian pitches generally in Test cricket. So they did switch about. They realized that, okay, rank turners perhaps not for us. But it turns out that they've forgotten how to even play in spinning wickets. And it is this muddled thought process that has led to Gautam Gambhir catching strays from Iceland Cricket of all people. Yes, you heard that right. This is Iceland Cricket's official X account saying, to all our fans, no, Gautam Gambhir will not be invited to be our new national team coach. That position is already filled and we won 75% of our matches in 2025. Yeesh. Now, you know, of course, that Iceland Cricket are known for taking subtle jabs, jibes, and everything. It's one way that they remain popular and active among fans on social media. But it is pretty pointed criticism regardless. Gambhir, his winning percentage has been pretty much on the lower side. And in Test cricket, sorry to say, it's atrocious. If you look at the 2 series wins, they've come against Bangladesh and West Indies, hardly stellar opposition. And against the Sena nations, when you've played, you lost to Australia, you lost, and that was away, so it was seen as forgiveness. But truth be told, you had a good team, you had a competitive team, you still ended up losing 3-1. You drew against England, which is the crowning glory, a drawn series against baseball era England. Not that much of a crowning glory. And then at home, inexplicably, you've lost to New Zealand whitewashed. You are on the verge of losing and being whitewashed to South Africa as well. So questions are deservingly being asked. Will it lead to action? That's something that remains to be seen. But let us know your thoughts on whether or not action needs to be taken in the comments below. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, follow us also on social media. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And stay tuned for more such updates from the world of sport.